Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is going to be a review for The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 2. Sorry it's a couple of days late. I spent some time with friends that I haven't seen for a while. It was really good times. But for The Walking Dead, it was really bad times. It was just not good. I talked last week how it was almost an hour and a half long and nothing happened. It went nowhere. You had all these little things going on up into the point that a satellite crashes through the atmosphere. And that's kind of where everything merges, and they put out a fire that this satellite causes, because, you know, it gets hot and gets caught on fire. And it just goes nowhere. At the very end, the climax of the episode is Alpha walks out of the woods, looks up, and sees Carol. Well, now you literally get the equal opposite. It's now the Whisperer's side, and it leads up to the exact same who gives a shit moment. Honestly. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I feel about it. These two episodes have become very uninteresting to me. Now, you do get a little backstory here with how I don't even want to say how the Whisperers were created, because that's not even true. You start in the past with a younger Alpha and Lydia, and they're walking with zombies, and they come across this woman who is literally being torn apart by zombies. And it's one of those things where, you know, Lydia's a kid, she screams, now they have to run their asses off. Her mother says, you know, you have to toughen up. But as soon as they walk into this building, it was some kind of manufacturing building or something, who knows, office building, whatever. Beta is there. And so there's a little bit of a standoff. Beta says they can stay the night. And that's kind of where it goes. In the present, Alpha kind of swears that everybody's going to be afraid of them, meaning Alexandria and the other communities, because of what they did by putting everybody's heads on a pike. And so she's not really too concerned about how people are going to react to them. Go back to the past. There was a episode last season where a lady had to put her baby down on the ground because it was crying and screaming, and it was drawing walkers. And this was a woman that was part of the Whisperers, and Alpha looks at her and just shrugs her shoulders. So at this point, she's still with the Whisperers, but her mind is kind of in a different place now. Ever since losing her baby, she's gotten a little bit flighty, and she kind of drifts off and staring into things, and even her sister kind of warns her that she really needs to quit doing that. So it's one of these things where she starts drawing attention because she starts crying, remembering her baby. And Beta says that, you know, we got to do something. Alpha stops everybody because she understands what it's like to lose a kid, you know, considering that she feels like she lost Lydia. And it's really weird because even though Alpha is supposed to be the leader of the pack, unemotional, you understand that she has ties to her daughter. That's kind of a given. And so they're playing on that. And there's actually a scene where Alpha confronts the woman who lost her baby. And instead of hurting her or killing her, she kind of gives her a second chance. And even the woman's sister, the one who lost her baby, even her sister kind of questioned that because she did put the Whisperer herd at risk. So Beta questions Alpha about that, and she gets kind of pissed, and she's like, don't question me. And then she kind of explains how, you know, a mother is still a mother, and she's always going to care about her daughters. So right after that, you get a clip of the Whisperers walking in this field, and this is where you see the satellite coming down that we saw last episode. And so we realize that it all ties together. Something was throwing an actual zombie herd in disarray, and I'm not even sure it really truly explained what that was. But the mother that lost her baby used that opportunity to start screaming and jump on Alpha, trying to kill her. So the mother who lost her baby jumps on Alpha, and then that lady's sister grabs Alpha and shoves her sister away. Her sister gets eaten, and so her sister saves Alpha, killing her own sister. Now, obviously, that got Alpha's attention. Alpha compliments Gamma, and then you kind of go into a ceremony where Alpha pronounces her Gamma, which is another big title in the Whisperer group, one of the leaders of the group. And you can kind of see Beta in the background, a little bit, stone-faced, not really having a reaction. Everybody else is chanting Gamma. He's silent. And there was a moment where Gamma asked if Beta was pissed, and he's like, I have no emotion. So that's kind of where they leave that off. In the past, you see that Alpha can't find Lydia. Lydia, you saw dressed up kind of as a zombie with blood all over her. And Alpha kind of breaks down. And then her and Beta get into it a little bit, and then Lydia shows herself and says, don't worry, I'm not afraid, or something to that extent. So that's kind of the making of the Whisperers, I guess. And then you move back to the present time where Alpha, for some reason, just kind of moves away from the herd that's walking with her and walks out to this clearing, looks up and sees Carol. So it's literally the other side of what we ended episode 1 with. My problem is it doesn't really go anywhere, and that's the problem. I felt like last season they were definitely losing their edge. Now this season, I mean, there were some horror moments to it, and that's fine. You gotta have some stakes, though. You gotta have people you care about. You gotta have something intriguing. You gotta deal with the people that you want to see. And part of Angela Kang's thing, you can obviously tell, and it's been said, is that she wants to put women on the forefront of leading roles this season. That's fine if it's a good story. I don't give a shit if it's men, women, or other. As long as it's a good story. As long as it works out and the acting is good and the storyline draws you in. Unfortunately, this is not the case. This is somebody trying to make what I feel is a little bit of a political statement and fucking up the show, if I'm being honest. So I wasn't really the biggest fan of this. I really wasn't. It was okay. It was okay at best. I was actually kind of bored with it, if I'm being honest. I really was. Which is disappointing because they have so much that they could still work with, working out things with Michonne, Negan. I mean, come on, man. And this is what we're getting. So, I don't know, man. I wasn't a fan of this episode. Like, the intro episode last week was subpar, and this is just not really interesting. So, for that reason, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I didn't feel it was a very strong episode. I just didn't. I don't give a shit about the Whisperer's backstory. You didn't really define a backstory, and honestly, they're a little bit cooler without one. That being said, I feel like it was mostly a waste of time. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation, out.